Picture this. You are driving through the chaotic, palpitating heart of Bangalore or Mumbai. It is a symphony of noise, rickshaws screeching, horns blasting, millions of people rushing to build the future of one of the world's fastest growing economies. And then everything stops. A Ferrari brakes hard. A bus swerves. A sea of pedestrians parts like the Red Sea. Why? Because a cow has decided to take a nap in the middle of the highway. And nobody moves her. Nobody honks at her. Instead, someone might walk up and touch her forehead in prayer. To an outsider, this is baffling. It looks like chaos. But if you look closer, you are witnessing a code that has been written into the software of Indian civilization for over 3,000 years. This isn't just about an animal. It is about a divine message that is trying to tell us something profound about survival, gratitude, and the very nature of nonviolence. Today, we aren't just looking at the cow, we are decoding the soul of a nation. To truly understand this, we have to strip away the modern world. We need to go back, way back. We are talking 1,500 years before the Common Era, the Vedic Age. Imagine the vast, dusty plains of the Indian subcontinent. Semi-nomadic tribes are moving across the land. In this world, there is no stock market, there is no gold reserve, there is no real estate market, there is only the herd. If you were alive then, you didn't ask a man how much money he had. You looked at his cattle. They were the original currency. They were the difference between life and death. The ancient Sanskrit word for war itself is gavishti. Literally translated, it means the desire for more cows. That is how high the stakes were. Wars were fought, blood was spilled, and empires were built, all for the sake of this one animal. But here is where the story shifts. It shifts from economics to something spiritual. In the earliest days, cattle were just assets. Evidence suggests they were even consumed. But then, a slow, massive shift in consciousness began to take hold. You can see it happening in the texts. The scriptures start using a new word for the cow, agnya. This is a heavy word. It translates to the one who must not be killed. This wasn't a sudden decree from a king. It was a realization bubbling up from the ground level. The people realized that killing a cow for a single meal was an act of economic suicide. It was burning down your house to warm your hands. This realization was the seed of the sacred. The cow began its ascent from a piece of property to a partner in the grand project of civilization. Think about the sheer engineering genius of this animal in a pre-industrial world. We often talk about technology driving civilization, but for India, the cow was the technology. It was a biological engine that powered the entire subcontinent. It was a relationship of perfect, circular symbiosis. First, you have the fuel for the human body, the milk. In a society that was largely vegetarian, this wasn't just a drink, it was a river of life. It provided the critical proteins and fats that kept millions alive. It gave us yogurt to cool the body in the tropical heat. It gave us ghee clarified butter. Ghee wasn't just for cooking, it was the fuel for the sacred fires, the medium through which prayers were sent to the heavens. But the genius of this system goes deeper. Look at the male counterparts, the bulls and oxen. These were the tractors of the ancient world. Without them, the vast agricultural plains of India would have remained wild forests. They pulled the plows that broke the earth. They turned the stones that ground the grain. They hauled the carts that connected village to village. They were the kinetic energy of the economy. And then there is the part that modern minds often struggle to grasp, the waste, or rather, the lack of it. In this system, there is no such thing as waste. Cow dung, or gobar, is miraculous stuff. Dried out, it becomes a slow-burning fuel that has cooked meals for billions of families over millennia. Mixed with water and clay, it becomes an antiseptic plaster for floors and walls, insulating homes and keeping insects away. It is a natural fertilizer that recharges the soil with nitrogen, ensuring the next harvest. This is what is known as Panchagavya, the 5 gifts of the cow: milk, curd, ghee, urine, and dung. It is a closed-loop system of total sustainability. The cow takes grass which humans can't eat and turns it into food, fuel, fertilizer, medicine, and power. When you see that level of provision, that level of selfless giving, it doesn't take long for gratitude to turn into reverence. It feels divine. It feels like a gift from the gods. And so, the mythologies grew to match the reality. The cow didn't just stay in the barn. She walked into the temples and the stars. You cannot talk about this without talking about Krishna. The most beloved deity in the Hindu pantheon didn't come as a warrior king sitting on a throne. He came as a cowherd. He is Gopala, the protector of cows. The imagery is iconic. The blue-skinned god, standing in the pastures of Vrindavan, playing his flute, surrounded by adoring cattle. This did something powerful to the collective psyche. It sanctified the act of caring for animals. It made the cow a friend of God. If Krishna loved them, then they were worthy of our worship. We see this cosmic elevation in the story of Kamadhenu, the wish-fulfilling cow who emerged from the churning of the cosmic ocean. She is the mother of all cows, a being of infinite abundance. Every cow on the street is seen as a spark of that celestial fire, a descendant of that wish-fulfilling mother. And look at Nandi, the mighty bull. He is not just a vehicle for Lord Shiva. He is his greatest devotee. In every Shiva temple, Nandi sits facing the sanctum, eternally waiting, eternally watching. He represents strength controlled by faith. This mythology wove the cow into the very fabric of the Dharma. It culminated in the concept of Gaumata, mother cow. This is the ultimate psychological lock. By framing the cow as a mother, the culture created a moral imperative. She provides milk for her calf, but she also shares it with us. She nurtures us. Therefore, to harm her is not just slaughter, it is matricide. It is a sin against the mother figure herself. This spiritual logic became the foundation for ahimsa, nonviolence. The cow became the physical embodiment of this lofty philosophical ideal. It is a creature that harms no one, demands nothing but grass, and gives everything. Protecting the cow became the litmus test for a human being's capacity for compassion. Mahatma Gandhi understood this better than anyone. He didn't just see a religious rule, he saw a poem of pity. He called cow protection one of the most wonderful phenomena in human evolution. For Gandhi, this was the central fact of Hinduism. He argued that by learning to respect this gentle, helpless creature, humans could learn to transcend their own violence. If we could protect the cow, we could protect the weak, the poor, and the voiceless. It was a training ground for the soul. But now, we have to face the hard cut. We have to fast forward to the 21st century. The ideal of the Gaumata is crashing headfirst into the reality of modern, urban India, and the collision is messy. The paradox is heartbreaking. In a nation that reveres the cow, we are seeing over 5 million stray cattle roaming the streets. When these animals stop producing milk, or when the bulls are replaced by tractors, the economic equation breaks. But the religious law remains. So, unable to slaughter them and unable to feed them, farmers are often forced to let them go. We see these sacred animals scavenging in garbage heaps, eating plastic bags that will eventually kill them, standing in the middle of traffic, ignored and malnourished. It is a jarring cognitive dissonance. You have the goshalas, the cow shelters, doing heroic work to care for them, trying to turn cow products into a sustainable economy. But they are overwhelmed. They are bursting at the seams. And then there is the politics. The symbol of the cow has been weaponized. We have seen the rise of vigilante groups, cow protectors, who take the law into their own hands. Laws have been tightened, with life imprisonment for slaughter in some states. The cow, this universal symbol of peace and nonviolence, has ironically become a flashpoint for conflict, violence, and political polarization. So, where does that leave us? When you strip away the politics and the chaos and the noise, what remains? When you look into the eyes of that cow on the street, you are seeing a living history. You are seeing the creature that allowed a civilization to survive the harshness of antiquity. You are seeing the biological bridge between the human and the divine. The message of the sacred cow isn't just for India. It's a message for a world that is rapidly forgetting how to be grateful to nature. It teaches us that true wealth isn't what you extract from the earth, it's how you coexist with it. It challenges us to look at the silent, the gentle, and the giving, and to see the divine in them. It asks us a difficult question. In our rush for progress, have we forgotten the hands or hooves that fed us? I want to know what you think. Is this ancient reverence sustainable in the modern world, or is it a lesson we need now more than ever? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if this deep dive gave you a new perspective, hit that like button and subscribe. We are just getting started.